Sarah. I am 15 years old, 5'7" with long dirty blonde hair and green eyes. Now to the story. After school on the last day before summer, I get home and my mom stops me at the door. Hey honey, me and Dad have to go away for work all summer. You're going to your uncle's for summer. I'm sorry, but you know how it goes. Yeah, I'll go pack. Meet out in the car in 20? I get to my room, then I open the door. I get my favorite red hoodie off the wall. It goes in my blue book bag that I just got all the stuff out of. So I put some more stuff in it, then I put it on my back. And then I started walking to the car. Mom is already sitting in the car, a green Ford Focus with a huge scratch on the door. I get in and we started driving. We are in the car for about 2 hours. We get there to see he's already outside waiting for us. We get out of the car and Mom says, "Let's go in. Besides, it's hot out here." "Oh, you're right," my uncle says. We go in, and his son is sitting on the floor by the TV. His name is Justin. He is about 5'9" with short black hair. "Hey Sarah, long time no see." "Yeah." "Hey, when your mom gets out of here, do you want to go for a walk with me?" "Sure." About an hour goes by. Mom goes home, and we started walking. "Hey, let's go see the woods. They have gotten a lot nicer since the last time you saw them."
We get to the woods, and I think to myself, I haven't been here since the incident 2 years ago. They look amazing. Yeah, I know, right? We walk a little bit longer into the woods. I see a shadow far back in the trees. Justin starts running at the shadow. I start a few seconds after him. I catch up to him, then we catch the shadow. We saw it was our friend Roger. He is a boy with long, dyed blue hair. Justin says, "Why are you being so creepy, asshole?" Roger just started laughing his ass off, because I think it's funny. And then he looks at me and says, "How's it going?" "Good, what about you?" "Yeah, me too." We all walk to the water. Justin gets an evil look on his face, then he pushes Roger in the water. "This is for being a creep." "Not cool, man. My phone got wet. Fuck you, I'm going home. See you later, Sarah." "Bye, Roger. See you later." I then look at Justin. "Why did you do that?" "He was being a dick. That's why." "Wow. I'm going home. And you're the one being a dick." I walk away. I get back to the house and sit on the couch. I start watching TV. Good, Supernatural's on. I think to myself. A bit into it, I fall asleep.
Sarah's perspective. Fuck, I fell asleep. What time is it? 7:30? I should probably go unpack. Go see the room I'm in. I started walking to the room. It's nice with a window right across from the bed. I look out of it. There's a shadow by the trees. It's probably just Roger messing with me. The shadow's perspective. I remember this house. It's nice to see she's back. I'll be seeing you soon, Sarah. Sarah's perspective. After unpacking my book bag, I go to the bathroom to fix my hair. It was a mess, so I put it up into a ponytail, then walked out to the living room. I see Justin laying on the couch. He gets up fast and says, "Hey Sarah, you still mad at me?" "A little, just because Roger's our friend." Yeah, well, he was being a dick, so he got what he deserved. But that's what makes you look like a dick. Justin says whatever and walks out. Then I decide to go meet Roger at a food place in town. About 20 minutes, and I got there. Roger was already waiting inside. I sat next to him and he started. What's up with Justin being a dick, do you know? I replied, no, he was like that when I got here, so I don't know. I'm sorry, Roger. Roger replies, I guess it's because he got a girlfriend and she's kind of bitchy. Her name is Ashley. She treats him like shit. I don't like her. Be careful. She is also crazy like a killer. I left the food place and started heading back to the house. When I got there, I see Justin and Ashley, so I go up to introduce myself. Hey, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you. I'm Ashley, Justin's girlfriend, so I guess we'll be seeing a lot of each other. I decided to go to my room for a little bit. I laid across the bed and fell asleep. But as I was crossing into sleep, I saw something out the window, a man covered in darkness, walking towards the house. Then I fell asleep. Justin's perspective, me and Ashley were in my room. When we heard the phone ring, I picked up the phone. Stop messing around with my daughter, dickhead. Justin, the phone cut out. Ashley said, so who was the phone? It was your dad. But my dad doesn't have your phone number. So who was phone? At that moment, a figure with a hood up over his face, so all you could see was a slit smile. It ran right towards you and cut you from the neck down to the heart, then stabbed through your chest. The world goes black. The figure's perspective. Now that she's back, I'm not going to let her leave this time. But first, let me take care of this one. Ashley, why did you do that? Why? I like doing that. Why? I quickly slashed through her throat as I watched the life go out of her eyes. Who was phone? Death was phone. Now, let's go see Sarah. Hey everyone, finally back to this story. Hopefully it won't take me this long to get another part out, but hope everyone enjoyed it. And if the reading is bad, I'm truly sorry. The figure's perspective. Let's go see Sarah. I started to walk up to her room when I remembered I should probably kill her uncle. That's all I need is for him to wake up. This must be his room. I open the door and slowly creep up to the bed and pull my knife out and slit his throat. I began to walk when he says, so you're back now. I never really left. Just waiting on her to come back here. He begins to jump at me, so I stabbed him through the heart. The light in his eyes went out immediately after that. So I walked out and started walking to her room again. As I got up to the door, I heard her stir awake. Sarah's perspective. I wake up to the sound of something walking to my door. I hear them stop in front of the door. I quickly get into my bag and grab my pocket knife. I quickly get to my feet and start walking to the door. I open it with the knife in front of me. What I saw when I did was horrifying.
and I knew it could only be Jeff. I tried to plunge the knife into his shoulder, but he catches it and throws it on the bed. I start backing up, trying to get it, but Jeff jumped and grabbed it before I did. "This just won't do, sweetheart." Showing me the knife, then he snaps it like a twig. "What do you want, Jeff?" I wanted to see if you wanted to pick up where we left off a couple years ago. "I'll think about it." "Well, okay then. I will give you some time to think about it. 2 days, sound good?" "For now, I'll see you later." He jumped out the window. "Shit, is everyone okay?" I started running to my uncle's room. What I saw was awful. My uncle with his throat slit. When I saw this, something inside my mind began to surge like electricity, but I pushed it back and pulled myself together. I walked downstairs to see Justin and his girlfriend. I rushed over to see if they were still alive. Fuck, they're both dead. I know I should go to Rogers. Before I could continue that thought, electricity started surging again, but this time lightning started coming from my hands. To see how it worked, I flicked my wrists and sent some of it at the windows. It destroyed them with ease. I'm not gonna wait for Jeff. I go upstairs to get my favorite hoodie. It's a beautiful red color. I slipped it on and go to the kitchen to grab a knife, seeing as Jeff snapped mine. Jeff's perspective after I jumped out the window. I started walking to the woods. Now that that's done for now, let's go see what the boss wants. I reach a hut after 20 minutes of walking. Sarah's perspective. I got a knife and started walking to the woods. It's like I could feel Jeff that way, so I walked. As I did, I thought back to how this all started. It was 2 long years ago. A nice day in July. Me and Jeff walked to the woods, like we always did, but this time was different from all the other times before it. Because the town bully, Randy, and his friends attacked us, Randy had a thing for me and didn't like to see me with Jeff. All of them decided to run at us. Randy quickly pulled out a knife, then looked over at one of his friends, Jason, to grab me and to hold me until Randy and his other friend, Keith, got done with Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and a flask of alcohol. He threw them both to Randy. Then Randy slammed the knife into Jeff's shoulder, sending Jeff to the ground, reeling in pain. Then he took a drink from the flask and then spit it through the lighter, sending fire at Jeff's face. As Jeff was engulfed in flame, which receded into his body, everything started going dark. That was the last thing I saw before I blacked out. When I came to, Jeff was out cold and Randy and his friends were dead around him. Jeff had second-degree burns all over him. So I pulled him up and started running to my uncle's. It was closer, so I ran up and got him to take Jeff to the emergency room, while I called his mom and dad. Once they got there, my uncle thought it would be better if we left them alone. So he took me back to his house and told me to grab my things. He was taking me home. He said it was too dangerous to stay there. That was the last time I saw Jeff. A few weeks after I got home, me and Mom were watching the news and I saw what happened to Jeff. He had killed his mom and dad and brother. End of flashback. I saw Jeff walking to a hut. I creeped up to the window to watch, and I saw Jeff talking to a girl with red hair. Brown-haired girl's perspective. I'm sitting in the team hideout for the area, waiting for Jeff after I got done talking to the boss, Slenderman, about Jeff for a project I have. But God, is Jeff slow getting back from his little BS session with the girl from 2 years ago. But it looks like he's finally back after I have been waiting here for 3 hours. Jeff walks in. Where's the boss, little Miss Clockwork? You know I hate it when you call me that, Jeffy. You know I hate that nickname. As I was saying, where's the boss? He went out to do something. The reason he called you here was so you can help me with a project I have. Oh, and what would that be? Clockwork. Well, there's a boy. He's my boyfriend, and he just so happens to be a member of the legendary Fall Clan. And I want you to show him how to control his powers better. His normal fighting is really good, but when he uses his powers, he wastes all of his energy in about 30 seconds. And I've talked to the boss and he says it's okay. He wants you to do it. He says it's a chance to get some real power on our side. Yeah, I will train him. So where is he? I sent him out a little while ago to go over the area. He will be back any time now. 15 minutes passed. Here he is now. Who is that with him? A boy with a black hoodie. He looks about 5'5". He has red and black hair with green eyes. He looks about 13 years old. Honey, I'm home. I found her by the window, so that's why she's here. Sarah, you can't stay away, can you? Fuck you, Jeff. The boy's perspective, his thoughts. The girl jumped out of my hold on her and started running at Jeff. As she did, blue lightning started coming off of her hands. I guess she's a lightning type. Calm down there, sweetheart. There's no need to be angry. Yeah, there is, you asshole. You killed Justin and Uncle Chris, so I have the right to be pissed off. She sent a really big lightning blast at Jeff's face, almost hitting Jeff, but he blocked it like it was nothing. So, I see you only know how to use your energy, which is only the first step to awakening your powers. If you really want to kill me, you're going to have to be stronger. I'll teach you how to use your powers. I'll let you teach me, but there will be a day when I try to kill you again. I know, I'm going to be training this guy here too. By the way, the boy. My name is Zane Fall. Nice to meet you. I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you too. Training will start tomorrow, okay guys? Fine with me. What about you, Zane? That's good for me too. Clockwork. Well, then. Thanks, Jeff. Hey everyone, sorry for how long this took to get out to you guys, and it should not be this long a wait next time. But anyway, hopefully everyone enjoyed the chapter, and until next time, have an awesome day. Zane's perspective. After a really sexy night with my girlfriend, man, I love her so much. But it's time to start my training with Jeff and Sarah. This isn't gonna be easy, but when was my life easy to start with? I walked to the hut and saw Jeff waiting outside. So you finally got your ass out of bed. I said get here at 6 a.m. It's fine this time, but if you show up late next time, there'll be hell to pay. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I was only 5 minutes late. Just messing with you, man. I don't care if you're a little late. If I was you, I'd want to stay in bed with the lovely clockwork, too. Zane's face started turning blood red. Jeff saw this and used this to attack him. He pulled his knife out and jumped at Zane. He barely had time to block, so he unknowingly released his energy, black fire, which went all over Jeff's knife. That was good, kid, but you can't always count on that to save you. That being said, cool powers. Thanks, man. It was hell to unlock them. I bet so. Now, let's see what you can do, man. And you have to tell me that story sometime. Yeah, I'll tell you the story someday. Now on to what my powers can do. A very big sword of black fire came together on Zane's hand, which he used to cut down a tree. As it started to fall, the sword began to disappear as he fell to the ground, drained of all his energy. It takes a lot out of me just to do that. I see what's up. So, today we are going to work on slowing your use of power. Let's see if you can draw your power in little bits. Don't make as big of a sword, just try and make a knife. Okay, man, a very small bit of energy started to come together, but with a flash, it was gone. What the fuck was that? So you can block with it, but you can't do anything as easy as make a knife? How long do we have before we need to start your plan anyways? Jeff's face was rocking a pissed off look. About 6 months. No one said it was going to be easy. I'm willing to work. No one said it was, but right now you're hopeless. But I said I'd train you, so it's my job to make you a great killer, Zane. Get better so you can help everyone. Will do, man. Can we work on some hand-to-hand stuff for a bit until I get some of my energy back? Yeah, sure, man. An hour passed in a flash. Sarah's perspective. Shit, I am so fucking late right now. Hope they aren't done for the day. She was running full speed to the hut when she got there. Jeff and Zane were already out there training. So you finally came out here. We've been waiting for you. Zane, go home for the day. Me and Sarah have some things to talk about. You can take the rest of the day off, okay? Okay, Jeff, Sarah, see you guys later then.
Jeff's perspective. So why did you do it? Do what? Kill Justin and Uncle Chris. I needed to, so you'd unlock your powers. So, see, that's why I did it. Would you like to start the training now? Yes, let's do it, Jeff. Maybe you can tell me what made you go all dark and stuff. So you want me to tell you the rest of the story, is that right? Jeff said in a more joking tone of voice. Okay, then, I'll tell you as we train. Okay, Jeff, let's do it. She sent a huge slash of lightning towards Jeff. He released his power to block it, but he still got hit with a lot of the power from it. So, from what I've seen so far, you're just a little better than Zane, so I guess you're going to be more fun to train. Haha, so that's cool. Shut up and tell me the story already, Jeff. The story, oh yeah, almost forgot about that. So, it was 2 years ago. A little after you left. A flashback. So, what the fuck do I do now? Jeff looks down to see his brother's bloody body. I'm sorry, bro, but Mom and Dad lied to me, and we all know how I hate those who do that shit. Jeff hears a car pull up out front. Fuck, I should get the fuck out of here. Jeff grabs his white hoodie off of his bed and jumps out the window in his room, and then starts running to the woods, which Not too long after that, he came across a figure. What are you? The figure. Well, my son, I am much too many. They called me a nightmare, a monster, but you can call me Slender Man. The Slender Man, the one from all those legends? No fucking way you're him. Well, my son, I am one and the same. So you're here to kill me, right? Jeff pulled his knife from his hoodie and pointed it out in front of him. No, not at all, my son. I'm here to teach you how to be a strong killer. All I ask in return is that you become a proxy for me. Something huge is coming in the next few years. I do not know exactly when, but in the next 5 years. Like what? A monster that wants all humans gone. I am trying to find humans that are strong to help me fight it back. Will you help, Jeff? Will I get to kill? Only those who are nothing but evil. Okay, then let's do it. Thank you, my son. From this day forth, you will be the first proxy. End of Flashback. So, for the next 2 years, I was trained to be a killer and waited for you. Sarah, I have really missed you. What did they lie about? She said coldly. They said my powers was nothing to worry about, and only a few days later, my powers killed those 3 dickheads, Randy, Keith, and the asshole that grabbed you. Jason, look, I know you hate me, but there was another reason why I had to kill your uncle and Justin. They were working on something for the Fall family. That's why Zane wants his family dead. They are evil. A lot of lives are gone because of those bastards. Working on what? A way to bring a monster back sooner than we want it to come back. If I didn't kill them, they would have found a way for it to come back a whole year before any of us were ready for it. So that's why I did it. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm still upset, but I'll help you guys for now, okay, Jeff? Yeah, that's fine. I didn't think you'd forgive me that easy. Well, who knows? Maybe I will in time, but for now, let's get back to training. Okay, let me see how good you are at hand-to-hand, sir, okay? Sure, Jeff. Jeff sent a punch at her. Just as it was about to hit her, she grabbed it and sent a kick towards Jeff, sending him back into a tree. That was good, but fuck, that hurt. Never think I can't fight, Jeff. Jeff jumped to his feet. Now let's see what you can really do with your powers now. She shut her eyes to focus. When she opened them, they were a raging blue to go with her lightning. Then her hand started to glow. She tightly shut it. A minute later she opened it, and a rat made of lightning came out at Jeff. So, I guess this is your true power, to make animals out of lightning. I guess so, man, that's cool. I think that's it for today. Don't want to wear yourself out too much when you just got your true powers unlocked. Okay, see you later then, Jeff. 6 months have passed. Everyone trained like crazy, and finally the night before came.
Zane's perspective. His thoughts. Well, it's been a long 6 months, but tomorrow is the day when I get to kill that piece of shit. Benjamin. Zane with an evil smile on his face. He started walking out of the house him and Jeff, Sarah, and Clockwork were staying in until the job started. "What are you doing, honey?" Clockwork asked. "I'm going to see my big brother, Max. He's the one who helped me get better at fighting. It is Christmas Eve, after all." He said the last part with a joking tone in his voice as he walked out of the door. "I'll be back before sunup, sweetheart," he said. "Okay, honey, I'm going back to bed," she replied. As he walked back to the house he grew up in, it made him think back to the last time he saw Max, 8 months ago. Before I met her, I asked if Max would show me a little bit about fighting, and for 2 months after that, he showed me how hand-to-hand worked, and we unlocked a little of my powers, but nothing like what I have now. We wanted to keep going, but ran out of time before he had to go back to the boarding school, or at least that's what they told us. But the real story is that they sent him to a school that helps the head of the big powerful families, like the Fog Clan, keep their members in their places by making sure they can't take power blockers that would let them be free from the nightmare that their family's powers come with. I talked to him a few weeks ago. He at least knows the plan. He said that he would hold our sister Sora off for as long as I needed. I'm going to meet him so I can see how strong he is and if he was training after I left. I got to the gates of the house, behind which was a castle-like house with a huge window that overlooked the road, so I guess that's still Benjamin's room. It should be easy getting in there. Ha, Benjamin, I'm coming for you. But for now, I pulled out my phone and texted Max to get his ass out here. 10 minutes goes by, and he finally showed up. His brown hair had gotten a little longer since the last time I saw him, with his eyes now glowing a strong green in the moonlight. "Hey man, how's it going? It's been a while, hasn't it been?" "Sup, so how long do you think you need to take down Benjamin and the others?" "Long enough for my friends to take them out. Should only take 2 or 3 hours, then we wait for Slenderman. He is going to destroy the bodies after we're done here." "Okay, I should be able to handle that. That's not the only thing I came to see you about, Max. I want to see how strong you are." "Okay, can do, Zane." He opened with a punch which was a little different from when we were training. The same power behind it, but this punch had fire all around it. Before this, during our training, he would barely use his powers, which makes gauntlets around his hands. I quickly drew power together to make my sword and used it. I blocked it, but when I did, he came back with a second punch, which went right across my face. "Not bad at all, man. I can tell you worked your ass off since I have been gone." "I could say the same thing about you. I'm happy for you. Maybe when this is all over, I can meet that girl you talked about on the phone." "Oh, she is coming to help with Matt, so you will meet her tonight." "Cool. I will make sure everything is set for later. We will come here at about 5 p.m., so be ready to keep Sora from messing this up. We only get one try at this, so we can't fuck it up, man." "I got it, Zane." "Zane, there is one more thing I have to say. I love you. It may not always look like it, but I do. I know. I love you too, man. Thank you for everything you do. As the two boys walk away from one another, Zane started softly crying and walked into the night. Clockwork's perspective. Zane walked in with a sad look on his face. "Why are you crying, baby?" she said in a loving tone of voice. "It's just that seeing Max made me happy," he said. "That's cool, but okay, you need to get some sleep right now." "Already there," he said. "Okay, I will come get you when it's time, okay?" "Yeah, love you, honey," he said. I walked into the living room. Jeff and Sarah were sitting around the fire on the ground. "Hey, let's go over the plan," Jeff said. "Shouldn't we wait for Zane?" I asked. "It's his plan, so he knows everything already, so anyway, we all split up when we get there." "Sarah, you are with Clockwork. You two are going to fight his cousin Matt. I'm going to fight his Uncle Ken, the police chief of this area. Zane is fighting his brother, Benjamin. His other brother Max is going to keep their sister Sora out of the way for us until Slendy gets there to help finish up so we can get out of there. And that's the game plan, got it?" We all talked for a while, then I got Zane up and we started getting ready. Zane stood in front of everyone. "This is going to be a fight of a lifetime. Is everyone ready for it?" "Anytime I get to draw blood, I'm ready for it," Jeff said. "Same here," Clockwork said. "I'm ready now," Sarah said. "Then let's go," Zane said. We all started walking to the house. Clockwork's thoughts. "With the plan in mind, I'm ready to kill that asshole Matt." Zane stopped me as we were walking. "Just before we do this, I want you to know I love you more than life itself." Then he kissed me. "I love you so much right now," I said back after he pulled away. "Hey kids, let's go already," Jeff said. "Oh, sorry man," Zane said back. "It's all good, but let's go," Jeff said. "Okay." We finally got to the house. We split up for our jobs. Sarah and I went to Matt's part of the house. Using my powers, I aided the door to his room. Then I cut it down and jumped at him. I threw him out the window. Clockwork's perspective. "So you're Matt." "Yeah, what of it?" he said. "Nothing much. It's just you have to die now. That's all." She then looked back at Sarah. "Sarah, get ready with that lightning of yours," she said. "Can do," Sarah replied. She started sparking up. "Ready," she said. "Well then, let's do this." Matt dashed at Sarah, and he tried to block the attack, but before he could, Clockwork cut his face right across it, just missing his eyes. "Fuck, really? Asshole, what are you trying to kill me for anyway? You made Zane your bitch. I'm his girlfriend, Alex. But you can call me Clockwork or Death. I don't really care which. But just know your time is up," she said in her scariest voice. "Well, Alex, I'm not the one who's dying tonight. You are." Sarah sent lightning at Matt again. As he tried to block it, Clockwork sent her knife into his shoulder. How does it feel to be someone else's bitch? Not so much fun, is it, Maddie, my boy? She said, with a dark but funny tone in her voice. You're fucking crazy, he said, as he released some of his powers, which came out as dark blue fire, then used it to pull himself up from the ground. That was a good try, but now it's my turn, bitch, Matt said. He came at Clockwork using his fire to make an axe, which cut her right shoulder right open. Now I'll ask the question. How's it feel to be my bitch? He asked. Then he pulled her into a kiss. With that, Sarah, just as fast as what she controls, sent a bolt of lightning at him, which went right through Matt's heart. You bitches, fuck you. At least I know that the two of you will die tonight. He then fell to the floor, dead. Thanks, let's go. Try and meet up with the others, Clockwork said. Okay, let's go, Sarah replied. Jeff's perspective. After splitting up, me and Zane ran together for a little while until reaching the part of the house where we needed to split up again, upon which Zane formed his sword of black fire and ran like a bolt of lightning up the stairs.
And I continued running in the hallway that led to the heart of the house. As I was running in the hallway towards my target, a girl stepped out of the shadows. She looked around 19 or so, and she was also holding a cat with eyes that looked like they were on fire. Then the girl spoke. So you're the infamous Jeff the Killer. I'm not impressed. Well, you're about to be in pieces, so I don't think it makes a difference. Just because Ken is my target doesn't mean I can't take you down too. Jeff quickly
ran at the girl, pulling out his knife from the pocket of his hoodie. The cat which the girl was holding in her arms jumped down and ignited its body in green flames and started running at me. But before we got a hit on each other, a boy appeared with his wrists bearing gauntlets, which shot orange flames, which forced me and the cat to jump back. The boy quickly bolted in between me and the girl, and then glanced over his shoulder as he began, while looking at me. You must be the one of Zane's friends. I'm his older brother, Max. I'll take care of things from here. You can go on ahead. Thanks. I then ran forward at the girl, jumping clean over her and continuing to run forward.
Max's perspective. As I saw Jeff's shadow disappear, I quickly turned my attention to my dear older sister as she began, "Why is there a killer here?" "Oh, you think there's only one? Try 4. And to answer your previous question, they're here to fix everything." "How's that?" she said with a very shitty tone in her voice. "By getting rid of the garbage we call family." "You mean?" "Yup, after tonight, me, you, Zane, and Benny are the last of the Fall family."
Not if I can catch them first. That's what I'm here for. I then pounced forward, trying to line up a punch, but before it could hit her, the cat jumped up and blocked it. Then it exploded, sending me back a little ways. As the sparks landed, it split into 3 cats of different colored flames. One, a beautiful green. Another glowed silver, while the last glowed a bright yellow. Come on, you have to do better than that, Sora taunted. I could say the same thing. This might actually be fun. Jeff's perspective. I got to the door of the office, then using my shadows, I made a battering ram. I burst in and saw sitting behind the desk was my target, Ken Fall. I had a feeling one of Slenderman's followers would come one day. It's an honor to meet you, Mr. Jeff the Killer. Now, what do you want? I'm a busy man. For you to die, that monster is not coming back. Jeff screamed. What monster are you referring to, Mr. Killer? Ken asked, looking at Jeff. You know damn well who I'm talking about. Zolgo. Jeff screamed at Ken. Kid, you can't stop him from coming back whether I'm dead or not. So what use would it be to kill me? Ken asked. I'm not just doing this because of Zolgo. I'm helping a friend here to eradicate your evil. Oh, who's your friend? He said with intrigue dripping from his voice. Oh, you know him very well. Your nephew, Zane. Little son of a bitch. I'm sorry, but I'll have to make this quick. But I'll try to make it as painless as possible, he said as he got up from behind the desk. He put his hands straight out, and within a second, the form of a bow and arrow, made out of purple flames, appeared in his hands. Isn't it perfect? Now, goodbye. A arrow of flames was sent right at my face. Using my shadows, I blocked it. I'd say it needs work. With a very unnoticeable twitch of my finger, I sent a shadow through his shoulder. Fuck. Well played, trying to get rid of my ability to use my weapon. Smart boy. Not that it will do you that much good, he said with a pained look on his face. Then he pulled his bowstring back once again, sending an arrow, but this time a much bigger one. Instead of trying to block it, I dodged it altogether. As he was focusing on throwing another one at me, I used my shadows once again to trip him. Before he hit the ground, I ran full speed at him, and I slammed him through the window. As we landed, he kicked me off of him, and he quickly got up. What now, kid? You have me in a wide open area. If you haven't noticed, my weapon is made for this kind of thing, and yours isn't. Who is at a disadvantage now? Ha 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 ha. As me and Clockwork made our way out of Matt's portion of the house, we heard the sound of shattering glass coming from the other side of the house. Then we decided to split off from each other, me going to check on whoever just went through that window, while Clockwork goes to help Zane. I started running down the hall from which we heard the sound, while Clockwork started running up the stairs. I guess he must have told her where Benjamin's room was at some point. After about 10 minutes of running, I got to a corner where I heard some voices. A boy's voice and a girl's. That all you got? The girl asked. Not a second later, did the boy get sent backwards. I quickly jumped in to grab him before he hit the wall. As the boy noticed that he didn't hit the wall and felt something touching him, he began, Who are you? I'm Sarah, one of your brother's friends, I replied. Cool, I'm Max. You wouldn't happen to be Zane's girlfriend, would you? Oh no, I'm not, but actually his girlfriend just went to help him with Benjamin after we got finished dealing with Matt. I say, a little bit flustered. So I guess that's one down. Good. That dude was a dick anyway. Before either could speak again, they heard the same girl's voice from before. Fuck, Sora found us. If you're going to go help the dude I let by earlier, I'll try and get an opening for you, but I don't know how much longer I'll be able to hold her off. Okay, she said as she ramped up her lightning. I'll just help you fight for a little while, then until we get that opening. Thanks, he replied. Jeff's perspective. Still think you can win? Ken said as he sent an arrow right at my head, which he seemingly was barely affected by my shadow I sent through his shoulder earlier. I managed to block it, but right as I was ready for my next move, I felt a sharp pain throughout my whole leg. As I looked down, I realized that I now had a hole in my leg. Fuck, that hurts, but you're not the only one that can deal with a crazy amount of pain, I said as I clutched my leg. Sarah's perspective. So you're working with my little brother, right? Sora asked me. Yes, I am, so what? I replied back. Just means your death and his, she said as she sent one of the cats at me, which it tried to blast me with fire, but before it could, I sent a bolt of lightning through its chest. Then Max ran straight at her with his gauntlets glowing with a ridiculously bright orange flame. One of the cats tried to block it, but he was able to punch right through it, finally landing a decent hit on her, which was enough to send her back into the wall, but not enough to knock her out. Go, now, this is your opportunity, he told me. Without needing a second to think, I started bolting towards the end of the hallway, but not before I sent a single bolt of lightning at a cat that was behind Max. It was about to explode on him, but luckily, my lightning got there in time and went straight through the cat, scattering it into sparks. Thanks, now go. I'll finish her off from here, he yelled at me. Okay, hopefully we meet again, I said as I was running down the hall. Max's perspective. You're going to finish me off? How's that? Sora asked me. You just saw how I was able to destroy one of your pets just by using not even half of my power. We're gonna crank it up a lot now, I replied. You were right, this is definitely fun, she replied. Jeff's perspective. Ken's arrows slowed me down a little bit, but I managed to trick him into going towards the woods where I was king due to all the shadows. You really think this will help you? Just because there are a lot of shadows in here. If you haven't noticed, flame gives off heat, gives off light, and it destroys your shadows at a high enough amount. I know that, but that's not what I'm banking on, I said as I jumped down from one of the trees with my knife in my hand. I managed to cut straight down his shoulder, the same shoulder I pierced earlier with my shadows. Smart kid. You were banking on this just means I have to use a different kind of bow from this point forward. It doesn't make your chances of winning any better, he said, clutching his shoulder. And that's not all, buddy. Here's another trick for you. I gathered all the shadows from behind him and combined them into one spike. Before I could pierce him, he flipped around and released his bow, immediately reforming it as a bow on his wrist, and shot a massive arrow out of it. Kid, it'll take a lot more than that to kill me. I wrapped some shadows around me, giving me enough time to climb up a tree far enough away from him that he wouldn't find it right away. Fuck, what can I do to kill this guy? I've done most of my big tricks already, even with little mobility in his arm. He's able to fire that thing, and he's not going to let a shadow get near him at all. I guess I'll stay on the offensive for right now, I thought to myself. Oh, you think you are so clever hiding in the trees, but that won't save you, dumbass. Thought I didn't see you. He sent an arrow right towards me. Without enough time to dodge it, I had to let it go through me. It went straight through my shoulder, knocking me out of the tree. Kid, I would pray to whoever you believe in and get ready to die. As he began to pull the tiny bowstring back on his wrist, we both heard a sound, the sound of lightning close by. I then saw a bolt of lightning zip right beside his face. What the f... Before he could finish his sentence, a bolt of lightning went straight through his leg. You have no idea how happy I am to see you, Sarah, I said out loud. Yeah, I think I do, but that's not what's important right now. She then turned her attention to Ken, who began, Go ahead, kill me. It's not like it will stop him from coming back. No, it won't, but it will stop you from corrupting the world any further. Now, what was it you just said to my friend here? Oh yes, I would pray to whoever you believe in and get ready to die, she said in a mocking tone. With that, she sent one final bolt of lightning through his heart, splattering blood everywhere. Now, that's over. Let's get you out of here. You look pretty banged up. Okay, Slendy should be here any minute now. But before we get out of here, I have something I've wanted to do all night. I then pulled her into a kiss, which seemingly lasted 4 minutes, but was really only about 30 seconds. I love you, Sarah, and thank you for being here for me. I know you do. Now, let's get you out of here, she said, blushing. Max's perspective, I managed to land another hit on one of the cats, destroying it instantly. We are both pretty banged up. This will probably be decided with the next few blows, Sora said to me. I couldn't agree more, my child. A voice bellowed from behind. Then a black and white tentacle went past me and into Sora's forehead, knocking her out. The voice spoke again. Don't worry, my child. She is only asleep. She will be fine in a few hours. It said to me. You're one of Zane's friends, aren't you? I asked. He replied, Yes, my child, I am Slender Man, but you may call me Slendy. No, I must go. Destroy the bodies dropped so far? He said. Oh, so they managed to beat Ken. Good. But what about Zane? Did he finish off Benjamin yet? That fight will be a while yet, but I'm sure he will win. He replied to me. I should go try and help him. What do you think? You are far too beat up for that, my child. He replied. No, I'm gonna go help him. After all, Benjamin is a dickhead. I rushed off, leaving Slenderman to deal with everything. Sarah's perspective, I got Jeff back to the safe house and started patching him up. Thank you for coming in at the last moment. I really thought I was going to die there, Jeff said to me. You're welcome. Now let's have some fun before the others get back, she said in a seductive kind of voice. I like that idea. Sarah's perspective. It's been about a month since Zane's plan, and only 2 weeks after which Slendy sent me and Jeff on a mission to kill the mayor of this shitty small town up in the mountains. Which brings us to where we are now, in a dark, abandoned old house, getting ready to go out for the job. Are you almost done getting dressed, I hear Jeff's voice bark from downstairs. Yeah, just finishing up now. I slip on my new electric blue hoodie, which matches one of the colors I make with my lightning, and I begin to head downstairs. As Jeff came into my line of vision, he began, "You look like a vibrant hellstorm. So beautiful," he said. "Thanks," I say it while trying to hide a bright red blush that was forming across my face. "Let's get going. I want to get this over with ASAP, so we can leave this stupid small town already," he growls. "Okay, let's do this," I reply. Then we left the house as we walked towards the location of the target. I began to think, Jeff is definitely right. We need to get out of here if what Slendy said to Jeff a few years ago is right. We only have about 2 more years before Zalgo comes back. We really should be training. I was snapped out of my train of thought when Jeff spoke. "Okay, we are here. I'll take the upstairs, you take the downstairs," he said. "Got it," I replied. We stormed the house. I quickly began getting my powers ready, while Jeff brandished his knife with his shadows wrapping around it. I then saw him using his shadows to jump through one of the windows. I then bolted through the front door. Jeff's perspective. I jumped through one of the upstairs windows to find myself in a dark hallway. I began walking for a minute when I heard the sound of Sarah crashing through the front door, along with the faint sounding of a voice coming from downstairs. But at the same time, I found the door to the master bedroom, ripping it off its hinges, with the message carved into the wall that said, "You're too late, look behind you." I quickly turned around only to see a small figure, looking like a teddy bear, but with a large grin on its face. "I see you've noticed that your targets aren't here. Well, you see, we can't have you killing off all Zalgo's supporters, so instead we're going to kill you." With that, I flicked my knife out, sending a shadow right for the creature, but it dodges with ease. "That won't work, Jeff. I know all of your abilities and tricks. For a while now, in fact." "How do you know my name, you stupid fucking teddy bear?" I growl. "Well, me and a whole bunch of other creatures who are loyal to Zalgo have amassed into an army awaiting his return. The leader of the army, for now, is a being known as Laughing Jack, and he told me to learn everything about you that I could, because he had a hunch you'd become a threat. And now that you have, it's time I kill you. But seeing as I know your name, it's only fitting you know mine before I kill you. You can call me Mr. Widemouth, you stupid fucking boy." Well, that ain't gonna happen. As I said that, I launched myself at the creature's throat, but before I could get in any kind of blow, he opened his mouth as wide as he could, almost like he was unhinging his jaw, and he chomped down on my arm as hard as he could. Then he threw me back against the wall. Sarah's perspective. As I walked into the house, I saw nothing but a living room in front of me with a figure standing in the shadows. As I began walking towards the thing, it spoke in a surprisingly feminine voice. "So you're Jeff's new girl. You're kind of pretty. What a pity you have to die." "Why's that?" I asked. The feminine voice responded, "Because She was interrupted by a boy looking around Jeff's age in a blue hoodie with hatchets. "Stop, you asshole." His hatchets at her, he threw. She jumped out the window to dodge. "I guess Widemouth is on his own now," she said as she ran away, not wanting to fight him. As she faded into the distance, we heard a loud noise coming from the upstairs, so we both creeped up the stairs quickly to help Jeff with whatever he was fighting. Right now, Jeff's perspective. I was fighting him with everything I had as I heard footsteps coming from the stairs. He tried biting my arm off, but before he could, I managed to flip him into the doorway. As he looks up, he freezes, seeing a boy in a blue hoodie with hatchets and Sarah. He quickly gets up and runs off. "This will not be the last time, Jeff," he said, smirking as he jumped out the window. I take a second to breathe as they both help me to my feet after I fell to my knees from flipping him on into the doorway. You okay, Jeff? Sarah asked sweetly. I nod quickly, but twitch from the pain. While the boy in the hoodie stayed quiet, we walked back to the hideout to get me bandaged up and to rest up so we could go back to the main team's hideout tomorrow.
It was a dark and rain-filled night as our heroes approached an old creaky mansion in the woods which became a proxy base. Sarah and the boy in the blue hoodie were dragging Jeff towards it as he was passed out from blood loss. Sarah frowns, pulling him over her shoulder as she ran for the house. Kid, whatever your name is, run up and get the door for me, she growls, since he was very heavy on her shoulders. The kid quickly ran up and got the door for her. Oh, and by the way, my name is Toby, he said in a very calm voice as he holds the very heavy door open for her. Sarah quickly laid her boyfriend down on the nearest surface, which was an old, ratty couch in the living room. Slendy, Jack, someone, she yells, trying to get someone to help him with his wounds. The boy in the blue hoodie pushed her aside and started cleaning his wounds with the first aid kit he found on the wall. Hand me his knife, I needed to close up his shoulder, he said, pushing it back together, as he then started stitching him up carefully, while Sarah handed him the knife, to which Toby started using it to cut some threads to use as stitches from his own hoodie. He will be fine, Sarah, he said, getting done with that, as Slender Man came into the room. Sorry, my child, but I was just waking up. But it looks like he will be fine from the great work Toby did here, he said, looking at the boy and giving a thumbs up sign as he sat down by Sarah to wait. After a very long rest, Jeff started coming to with the low light of the moon hitting him in the face. When he looked around, he saw Sarah and Toby sleeping on the ground, far apart from each other. From behind him, Slender Man's voice spoke. Good, my boy, you're up, he said, looking at Jeff, and then handed him his hoodie since Sarah took it off of him to wash and fix it, not wanting the hole to get bigger. How long was I out, sir? Jeff asked, sitting up slowly and looking at him while putting his hoodie back on. Only about 4 or 5 hours, my boy. But now, wake the others, please, he said, walking to the door. There will be a meeting in the living room in 15 minutes. With everyone, he said, leaving the room. Jeff smiled brightly as he gets up, still a bit weak, as he shakes Sarah awake. Princess, get up. We got a meeting to go to, he said as he sees Toby get up. Hey man, how you feeling? He asked, standing up. Great, thanks for asking, Jeff replied to him as Sarah finally got her ass up. Hey babe, what is it? She asked, a bit mad at being woken up so soon. A meeting with everybody soon, he said to both of them, and went on his way out of the room. What's his deal? Toby growled as he put his mouthpiece on, which makes his voice a bit deeper. Why are you with him? That dick, Sarah, he asked, looking up at her. 'Cause he is lovable when he wants to be, Toby. But thanks for fixing him up for me, she said, hugging him. Now, let's go see what this meeting is about, she said, walking out of the room, as Toby followed calmly. He sits down on one of the chairs by the windows. What's with this meeting, sir? He asked as everyone was entering the room, slowly, all but Zane and his clockwork. Hello, my children. You may want to know why this meeting is being held, and why Zane and Clockwork aren't here tonight with us, Slender Man said. Yep, Zane said, with Toby. Both calm. Toby was standing against the wall, as Sarah was right next to him, watching Jeff lovingly. Well, to keep him safe, I made Alex take him to train up in the woods of Kentucky, Slender said calmly. Jeff moved forward in his seat. Okay, sir. May I ask something? Jeff asked respectfully, since he was a bit scared of Slender Man. Why, yes, of course, Slender said, looking at him. Jeff takes a deep breath. How long do we have still before this war comes? He said, breaking his normal voice, looking at his adoptive father. Well, my son, the best I can tell, 2 years exactly. Now you may do as you please until those 2 years go by. There's not much we can do until then, Slender said, turning away and walking back into his room.
in the depths of the house, and everyone disperses back to different directions and places in the house. Jeff kisses Sarah, then goes to get their things quickly, deciding to leave out with her for some fun, for the little while of peace they had left. Hey everyone, thanks for watching the series. The sequel will be out sooner than later, and yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Monsters really exist, and they are coming to destroy all of humanity. But no worries, because there stands a team to stop them, comprised of Alex Fisher, otherwise known as Clockwork, Sarah, otherwise known as Hellstorm, Zane Fall, otherwise known as the One Blade, and yours truly, Jeffrey Woods, or more commonly known, Jeff the Killer. Then there's our leader, Slender Man. Together we fight to stop the evils from destroying the world. But make no mistake, we are not the heroes here. We are the proxies, and this is our story.